The grand conclave chamber of the Krill Imperium hummed with suppressed energy, a low thrum that vibrated through the polished obsidian floor and echoed in the vaulted ceiling, a structure that had borne witness to millennia of triumphs and tragedies. Lord Executor Valerius, his chitinous faceplate gleaming under the ethereal light of the central nexus, felt the weight of ages pressing down on him, amplified tenfold by the image flickering before him. A cascade of sensor readings, strategic projections, and intelligence reports, all coalescing into a single, undeniable truth: humanity. Their arrival, initially dismissed as a minor blip on the galactic stage, had become an existential threat, a festering wound in the delicate balance of power that the Imperium had painstakingly cultivated for centuries. Around him, the other members of the conclave, representatives of the myriad species that comprised the Imperium, shifted uneasily in their ornate seats. The air was thick with apprehension, a tangible manifestation of the collective fear that had gripped the Imperium since humanity's first defiant act. The executor raised a clawed hand, silencing the murmurs that threatened to erupt into chaos. "The situation is grave," he intoned, his voice amplified by the chamber's acoustics, each word resonating with grim finality. "The humans have violated the Treaty of Xantus, engaged in unprovoked aggression against our outposts, and shown a disturbing capacity for rapid technological adaptation." He paused, allowing his words to sink in, each syllable a hammer blow against the assembled dignitaries. He watched the assembled members of the conclave, searching for a sign, any indication of insight in the alien eyes that regarded him. The silence stretched, taut and suffocating, broken only by the low hum of the chamber and the frantic calculations of the tactical projections displayed on the central nexus. He knew many wanted to eradicate the humans, to crush the upstarts before they could become a true threat, but that course of action presented its own dangers. Their technology was unpredictable. A harsh, guttural voice broke the silence. It was the delegate from the Vorax Collective, a species renowned for its ruthlessness and military prowess. "Lord Executor, with all due respect, what more is there to discuss? The humans have demonstrated their hostility. They have shed Krill blood. We must retaliate swiftly and decisively, obliterate them before they can consolidate their gains." Valerius suppressed a sigh. The Vorax were always eager for conflict, their society built on a foundation of conquest and domination. But their methods were often indiscriminate. Such a course of action would destabilize the region, inviting unwanted attention from other galactic powers. "Such a rash response would be unwise," he countered, his voice measured but firm. "We do not fully understand their capabilities, their motivations. A direct assault could invite unforeseen consequences." He gestured to the central nexus where holographic projections of human warships flickered. "Their technology is unusual. They are adept at energy manipulation, at creating defensive shields that defy our conventional weaponry, and their strategies, they are unpredictable, chaotic." A murmur rippled through the conclave. The Krill Imperium had always prided itself on its strategic acumen, its ability to anticipate and counter any threat. The humans, however, seemed to operate on a different plane of logic, their actions driven by a ferocity and a disregard for established protocols that defied all calculations. The delegate from the Sylvani Ascendancy, a species known for its pacifist philosophy and mastery of biotechnology, spoke in a soft, melodic tone. "Perhaps we should attempt communication, offer them compensation, acknowledge their grievances. Perhaps there is a misunderstanding." Valerius considered the suggestion. Diplomacy was always preferable to war, but the humans had shown little interest in negotiation. Their initial contact had been abrupt. A demand for resources, followed by a series of skirmishes when their demands were not met. And then, the incident at Outpost Zeta, a complete and utter annihilation of the Krill garrison with no survivors. He shuddered. "We have attempted communication," he said, his voice heavy with regret. "They have responded only with aggression. Their actions suggest a deep-seated animosity towards the Imperium." He paused, choosing his words carefully. Perhaps they perceive us as a threat. Perhaps they believe that their only option is to eliminate us before we can do the same to them." A chilling silence descended upon the conclave. The implication was clear. The humans saw the Krill Imperium as an enemy, an obstacle to their expansion, and they were willing to fight to the death to achieve their goals. The representative from the Mechanoid Collective, a Gestalt intelligence that controlled a vast network of robotic drones, spoke in a monotone voice, its words devoid of emotion. Analysis indicates a high probability of human technological singularity within the next 5 decades. Their rate of innovation is unprecedented. If left unchecked, they will surpass us. Valerius clenched his clawed hand. Technological singularity, the point at which a civilization's technological advancement becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, leading to unimaginable transformations. The mechanoid collective feared it. The Krill Imperium feared it. And now, it seemed, the humans were on the verge of achieving it. The debate continued for what felt like an eternity, each delegate offering their own perspective, their own solution to the human problem. Some advocated for immediate military action, others for diplomatic engagement, others for containment and isolation. But one thing was clear. The Krill Imperium was divided, paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. Valerius listened patiently, absorbing every argument, every nuance, every subtle indication of political maneuvering. He knew that the fate of the Imperium rested on his shoulders, that the decision he made would determine the future of countless species. As the debate raged on, Valerius's thoughts drifted back to a forgotten file, a low-priority report he had barely glanced at months ago. A report regarding humanity's homeworld, the desolate, scarred world they called Earth. He remembered the images, a planet ravaged by war, pollution, and environmental collapse, a planet that should have been uninhabitable, and yet humanity had not only survived but thrived. They had overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles, pushing the boundaries of science and technology to achieve the impossible. A seed of doubt took root in his mind. Could it be that the Krill Imperium had underestimated the humans? Had they dismissed them as a primitive, insignificant species, only to discover that they were something far more dangerous, and the reports of their rapid advancement? It all suggested something deeper. A ping from his personal comms broke him out of his reverie. It was an encrypted message from Admiral Thuron, commander of the Krill fleet stationed near human space. Valerius activated the comms, his heart pounding in his chest. "Report, Admiral," he said, his voice tight with anticipation. Thuron's image flickered on the screen, his face etched with concern. "Lord Executor, we have detected a significant increase in human military activity. They are mobilizing their fleets, massing their forces near the border. Their ships, they are unlike anything we have ever seen, more powerful, more advanced." He paused, his voice trembling slightly. "Lord Executor, I believe they are preparing for war." Valerius felt a cold dread wash over him. The humans were not merely defending themselves. They were preparing to attack. They were coming for the Krill Imperium. "Admiral, what of our own fleets? Are we prepared to meet them?" Thuron hesitated. "We are, Lord Executor, but their technology is unlike anything we've encountered. Their weapons, they seem to bypass our shields with ease. We've already lost several scouting vessels." Valerius closed his eyes, the weight of his responsibility crushing him. War with humanity was inevitable. He opened his eyes, his gaze hardened. "Prepare the fleets for battle. Alert all sectors. We will meet them head-on." The conclave chamber erupted in chaos. The delegates screamed, argued, and pleaded, their voices a cacophony of fear and desperation. But Valerius ignored them. His decision was made. The Krill Imperium would fight. They would defend their territory, their way of life, their very existence. He watched the tactical projections displayed on the central nexus, tracing the movements of the human fleets. Their advance was relentless, unstoppable. He knew that the coming battle would be unlike anything the Imperium had ever faced. The humans were not merely an enemy. They were a force of nature. The Krill Imperium had forced the humans to leave. Peace was an option. But now, humanity would bring vengeance. He just hoped he was ready. Deep within the core of the human flagship Dauntless, Admiral Elena Ramirez stood before the holographic display, her gaze unwavering, her posture rigid. The bridge hummed with controlled energy, the hushed commands of the crew a symphony of calculated efficiency. The vast expanse of space unfolded before her, a tapestry of stars and nebulae, but her focus was solely on the strategic projections that dominated the display. Krill fleets, represented by crimson icons, swarmed across the sector, poised to intercept the human armada. "Status report," she commanded, her voice crisp and authoritative. "All systems nominal, Admiral," replied Commander Chen, her second-in-command. "Fleets are in position, awaiting your order." Ramirez nodded, her eyes fixed on the display. Years of planning, preparation, and technological advancement had culminated in this moment. Years of enduring the Krill's oppressive policies, their exploitation of weaker species, their relentless expansion across the galaxy. The Krill had forced humanity to the fringes, to the desolate corners of space, but humanity had never forgotten, never forgiven. "Admiral," Chen interjected, "we are receiving a communication from the Krill flagship." Ramirez hesitated for only a moment. "Patch it through." The holographic image of Lord Executor Valerius materialized on the display, his chitinous face impassive, his eyes cold and calculating. "Admiral Ramirez," he began, his voice amplified by the comm system, "I presume you are aware of the gravity of your actions. You have violated the Treaty of Xantus, engaged in acts of unprovoked aggression, and threatened the stability of the Krill Imperium." Ramirez met his gaze, her expression unwavering. "The Krill Imperium has long exploited and oppressed countless species across the galaxy. Humanity will no longer stand idly by while you perpetuate your reign of tyranny. We are here to liberate those who have suffered under your rule, to bring justice to those who have been wronged." Valerius scoffed. "You presume to judge us, to dictate our policies? You are but a fledgling species, barely capable of interstellar travel. You cannot possibly hope to challenge the might of the Krill Imperium." "We may be young, Lord Executor," Ramirez replied, her voice laced with steel, "but we are resilient, we are resourceful, and we are determined. We have endured hardship, overcome adversity, and emerged stronger than ever before. We will not be intimidated by your threats. We will not be deterred by your power. We will fight for our freedom and for the freedom of all those who yearn for it." Valerius narrowed his eyes. "You are making a grave mistake, Admiral. You are inviting destruction upon yourselves. The Krill Imperium will not tolerate your defiance. We will crush you. We will eradicate you from the face of the galaxy." "Then so be it," Ramirez retorted. "Let the Krill Imperium try. We are ready." The communication terminated, leaving the bridge in silence. Ramirez turned to Chen. "Prepare for battle, Commander. Execute Operation Liberation." Chen nodded, her face grim. "Aye, Admiral." The Dauntless shuddered as its engines roared to life, propelling the flagship towards the Krill fleets. The human armada followed, a wave of steel and fire, determined to challenge the Krill Imperium's dominance. The ensuing battle was a maelstrom of energy weapons, exploding warships, and desperate cries for help. Human technology proved to be far superior to that of the Krill, their shields stronger, their weapons more accurate, their strategies more adaptable. The Krill fleets, once confident in their superiority, found themselves outmaneuvered and outgunned at every turn. Ramirez commanded the Dauntless with unwavering resolve, her tactical brilliance guiding the human forces to victory after victory. The Krill fleets were decimated, their formations shattered, their morale broken. As the battle raged on, Ramirez received a message from a Krill warship, a desperate plea for parley. She hesitated. The Krill had shown no mercy in the past. Why should she offer them any now? But then she remembered her own words. "We are here to liberate those who have suffered under your rule, to bring justice to those who have been wronged." Justice, she knew, was not merely about retribution. It was also about offering a chance for redemption. "Accept their surrender," she ordered, "but ensure their complete disarmament." The Krill forces complied, their will to fight broken. The battle was over. Humanity had won. But the war was far from over. The Krill Imperium still controlled vast swathes of territory, and its leadership remained entrenched in its power. Ramirez knew that achieving lasting peace would require more than just military victory. It would require a fundamental shift in the Krill's ideology, a transformation from a culture of conquest to one of cooperation. In the aftermath of the battle, Ramirez convened a meeting with representatives from the various species that had suffered under Krill rule. She listened to their stories, their grievances, their hopes for the future. She promised them that humanity would stand by them, would help them rebuild their societies, would protect them from further oppression. And she offered the Krill a chance to join them, to become part of a new galactic order based on mutual respect and shared prosperity. Many Krill were hesitant, distrustful of humanity's motives. But some, weary of endless war and oppression, saw a glimmer of hope in Ramirez's offer. They agreed to work with humanity, to help dismantle the Krill Imperium from within, to create a new society based on justice and equality. The process was long and arduous, fraught with challenges and setbacks. But gradually, the Krill Imperium began to crumble, its power base eroded by internal dissent and external pressure. New alliances were formed, old grudges were forgiven, and a new era of peace and cooperation dawned across the galaxy. Years passed. The galaxy transformed. The Krill Imperium was dismantled and replaced with a galactic federation. The humans, who had once been outcasts, now played a central role in shaping the future of the galaxy. They helped to establish new trade routes, promote scientific advancements, and resolve diplomatic disputes. They shared their technology with other species, helping them to overcome their limitations and unlock their potential. And they served as a constant reminder that even the most powerful empires can be overthrown, that even the most oppressed people can find liberation. But one of humanity's first diplomatic missions to the outer rim of the galaxy uncovered something far more unusual. Deep in the fringes of known space, a human exploration vessel, the Horizon, stumbled upon an anomaly. A structure of unimaginable scale and complexity, dwarfing even the largest Dyson spheres constructed by the Mechanoid Collective. It was an artificial construct, a megastructure of such advanced design that it defied all known principles of physics. The Horizon transmitted images of the structure back to Earth, sparking a frenzy of scientific investigation. Experts from across the galaxy were brought in to study the data, to analyze the images, to try to decipher the purpose of this colossal artifact. Initial analysis suggested that the megastructure was billions of years old, predating all known civilizations in the galaxy. Its origins were unknown, its purpose a mystery. Some theorized that it was a weapon, a doomsday device capable of destroying entire star systems. Others believed that it was a source of energy, a cosmic power plant capable of fueling unimaginable technologies. Still others speculated that it was a gateway, a portal to another dimension or another universe. Ramirez, now a revered figure throughout the galaxy, took a personal interest in the megastructure. She assembled a team of scientists, engineers, and linguists to investigate the anomaly, to unravel its secrets. The team embarked on a journey to the outer rim, determined to uncover the truth behind this ancient artifact. After months of intensive study, the team made a breakthrough. They discovered a hidden chamber within the megastructure, a room filled with strange symbols and intricate machinery. Using advanced translation algorithms, they were able to decipher the symbols, revealing a message, a warning from a long-lost civilization. The message spoke of a cosmic entity, an ancient force of destruction that had ravaged the galaxy countless millennia ago. The entity, known only as the Devourer, was a being of pure energy, capable of consuming entire worlds, of obliterating entire civilizations. The civilization that had built the megastructure had created it as a defense, a shield against the Devourer. The megastructure was designed to channel the Devourer's energy, to contain its destructive power, to prevent it from unleashing its wrath upon the galaxy. But the civilization had failed. The Devourer had breached the megastructure, unleashing its destructive force upon the galaxy. The civilization had been destroyed, its knowledge lost, its legacy forgotten. The message ended with a warning. The Devourer was still out there, dormant but not defeated. It was only a matter of time before it reawakened, before it returned to wreak havoc upon the galaxy once again. The team transmitted the message back to Earth, sending shockwaves throughout the Galactic Federation. The threat of the Krill Imperium seemed insignificant in comparison to the danger posed by the Devourer. The Federation mobilized its resources, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. All of the combined defense fleets were put into high alert. Humanity, along with its newfound allies, stood ready to defend the galaxy, to protect it from the ancient evil that threatened to consume it all. Ramirez, her face etched with determination, stood before the holographic display, watching as the images of the megastructure flickered across the screen. She knew that the coming battle would be the greatest challenge humanity had ever faced. But she was not afraid. She had seen humanity overcome adversity, achieve the impossible, and emerge stronger than ever before. She knew that humanity, along with its allies, could defeat the Devourer, could save the galaxy from destruction. Humanity, and all the species allied with it, were ready. "Prepare for battle," she ordered, her voice ringing with resolve. "We will face the Devourer and we will prevail." Combined fleets of the Galactic Federation, a kaleidoscope of warships from countless species, converged near the megastructure, their weapons charged, their shields raised. They awaited the arrival of the Devourer, the ancient evil that threatened to consume them all. The battle began with a blinding flash of energy, a cataclysmic collision of cosmic forces. The Devourer, a being of pure energy, unleashed its destructive power upon the Federation fleets, obliterating entire warships with a single blast. The Federation forces fought valiantly, their weapons tearing into the Devourer's energy form, but their attacks seemed to have little effect. The Devourer was too powerful, too resilient. It was on the verge of overwhelming the Federation defenses. Ramirez, aboard the Dauntless, watched the battle unfold with growing concern. She knew that if the Devourer breached the Federation lines, it would be unstoppable. It would consume entire star systems, wiping out countless civilizations. She had to find a way to defeat it. An idea formed in her mind, a desperate gamble that could either save the galaxy or doom it to destruction. She ordered the Dauntless to break formation, to head straight for the Devourer. Her crew protested, warning her of the danger. But Ramirez was resolute. She knew what she had to do. The Dauntless surged forward, its engines straining, its shields flickering. It hurtled towards the Devourer, a tiny speck of defiance against an overwhelming force. As the Dauntless approached the Devourer, Ramirez activated a hidden weapon, a device based on the technology of the megastructure. The device was designed to disrupt the Devourer's energy form, to destabilize its structure, to render it vulnerable to attack. But the device was untested, its effects unpredictable. It could just as easily backfire, destroying the Dauntless and unleashing the Devourer's full power upon the galaxy. Ramirez closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and activated the device. A wave of energy pulsed from the Dauntless, washing over the Devourer. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Devourer began to convulse, its energy form flickering and distorting. It roared in pain, its voice echoing across the void. The device was working. The Devourer was vulnerable. Ramirez opened her eyes, her gaze fixed on the Devourer. She ordered the Dauntless to fire its main weapons, unleashing a barrage of energy blasts that tore into the Devourer's weakened form. The Federation fleets joined the attack, their weapons converging on the Devourer, unleashing a torrent of destructive energy. The Devourer screamed, its energy form collapsing, its power fading. Finally, with a final, deafening explosion, the Devourer was destroyed. The galaxy was saved. The aftermath of the battle was a time of celebration and mourning. The Federation fleets had suffered heavy losses, but they had achieved the impossible. They had defeated the Devourer, the ancient evil that had threatened to consume them all. Ramirez was hailed as a hero, her courage and leadership credited with saving the galaxy. But she knew that the victory had come at a cost. Many lives had been lost, many worlds had been scarred. The threat of the Devourer had been eliminated, but the scars of its attack would remain for generations to come. The galaxy would never be the same. In the wake of the Devourer's defeat, humanity and its allies embarked on a new era of exploration and discovery. They ventured into uncharted regions of space, seeking out new civilizations, new technologies, and new knowledge. They learned from their past mistakes, striving to build a better future, a future of peace, cooperation, and understanding. But the encounter with the Devourer had left a lasting impact on humanity, a sense of humility, a recognition of their own limitations. They realized that they were not alone in the universe, that there were forces beyond their comprehension, dangers beyond their imagining. And they understood that the only way to survive, to thrive, was to work together, to share their knowledge, to support each other in the face of adversity. The galaxy had faced annihilation. But from the ashes of despair, a new era of hope and unity had emerged. Humanity had brought vengeance, but it had also brought hope. Years later, standing on the bridge of a new exploration vessel, the Hope, Admiral Ramirez looked out at the endless expanse of the cosmos. She thought back to the long, arduous journey that humanity had taken, from the desolate ruins of Earth to the forefront of galactic civilization. She thought of the Krill Imperium, their initial arrogance, their ultimate defeat. And she thought of the Devourer, the ancient evil that had threatened to consume everything. She smiled, a serene expression on her face. Humanity had faced its demons, overcome its challenges, and emerged stronger than ever before. They had been forced to leave, but they had returned with a vengeance. And in the process, they had forged a new future, a future of peace, unity, and hope. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and wonders, but humanity, along with its allies, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They would explore the unknown, discover new worlds, and build a brighter future for all. The galaxy was theirs to explore, theirs to protect, theirs to cherish. And they would do so with courage, with compassion, and with unwavering resolve. For humanity, the journey had just begun.